there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julie McNeil Crafts. So today is the last day of the month, so it's time to do the take 5 ready for June, and the lovely Sylvia has chosen our prompts for us this month. So we have add lyrics of a song you like, include a tea bag or coffee filter. That's not something I craft with, so I've had to hunt around to find that. Play with a monochromatic colour palette, use 2 stamps or stencils, and use Rubons. And I've just realised I've not looked out Rubons yet, but I will have a look once we get to that stage. So I am working in my Dina Weekly Mixed Media Journal. I am trying my best to sort of use this up. I'm sort of on the home straight, but I've got lots of the craft card left and the fabric left. I've sort of pretty much used all the watercolour card, and it's all the different substrates that I have left over now that I'm playing with. So I've decided to go with the monochromatic colour palette. I've decided to stick with the sepia tones. So this page was from this book here, the Jane Davenport Whimsical Girls, and it's lots of like pull out sheets and things, and it's almost meant to be sort of like to start your journal process. You know, that we get that fear of the blank page sort of thing. That you've kind of got something there as a starting process. I like it. The only thing that bothers me that if you take it out, you've then got to choose, which I think is a bit of a shame. But there you go. So I am going to roughly tear around this girl, and then I've got some book pages and some music pages. And I think that's going to be my starting point. And I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I have to say, quite a lot of these prompts are well and truly out of my comfort zone. So I'm not sure if I'm really feeling it yet. But we will find out. It's fine. I think it's good to be pushed out of your comfort zone from time to time. So that's why I take part in a lot of these challenges. Now normally I'd be sort of switching that round and popping bits of colour in, but because we're going for the monochrome colour palette, I'm not on this occasion. I'm just going to have a torn edge around that too. So what I'm thinking now, so that'll probably go there. We're going to need to rip that down a little bit so it actually fits on the page, which is just a shame because I wanted it to sort of flow around the actual. There we go. So we've got something like that as a basis. I don't know if I would have liked... Oh, we'll see how we go. So, right, I've got some music sheets as well, and I thought we'll pop some of the music sheets in the background. So again, these music sheets are from a haul I did ages ago where it was one of our local charity shops. They said that anything you could fit, you could basically get a bag full of products. So anything you could fit in your bag for £5. So I do quite like that, but I don't want to lose all the craft. Maybe need to make that, yeah, that's a bit better. I'm kind of wishing I hadn't torn this bit away, so I think we need to come back with some more of this and sort of fill that in a little bit. I'm just maybe gonna fill in the gaps so it's not quite so stark. She says. Right, so, yeah, something along those lines, I think. We've also got the tea bags. I don't know whether to sort of keep them as tea bags, like that, or whether to have it as texture. Let's pull one apart. I've got 2. Like, as I said, it's not even something I craft with, so I've actually just poured the tea out of this. I've gone into the cupboard, found a tea that quite often get bought in gift packs, you know, like with biscuits and tea and stuff like that, and quite often the tea they put in it is tea that I don't really like. So I've taken my least favourite tea and cut open the bag, and sorry, my iPad that I use to see what I'm doing on camera is sitting on a pot of stuff. My workspace that I'm working in here has got smaller and smaller, so it had already sort of reduced, but now I've had to use some of the small amount of space that I've got for storing products. Right, so if we put some of this, maybe if I tear this, and then check the tea's falling out. So we could, yeah, what I might do is sort of layer between the tea bag and the craft paper coming down here. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to stick all of that down, but I'm just going to pop you on, because you've roughly seen the layout, I'm just going to pop you on fast forward as I all that stuck down. On this page over here, although I'm not wanting them to look the same because they're clearly going to be very different, they're going to have very different looks, but I want there to be a little bit of continuity. I have used this big large cog stencil, which is one of my stencils, so I'm just wanting to pop that in there. I've actually got iced spruce, which is a grey tone, which I think will pick up, it's going to pick up this sort of colour here, so I think we're still staying with the monochrome colour palette because it's a grey that we're adding in. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of this on with this large cog, and I'm hoping that this as well is just going to sort of marry all of the elements that we put together. I ended up, as you would have seen on the speed up, adding some of the tea bag elements up there. Again, it was just to make the two corners sort of work together. So we've got that in there. Oh, I think that works. It's quite subtle, and as I said, it's picking up the grey tones of what we've got in that picture. So I still think it works within the realms of monochrome. It's more that it's this. I mean, it does have a touch of blue to it, but it's more that it kind of, it's what I have, really. So what I might do is just to make sure that it is sort of slightly more tonal than what am I trying to say? I'm going to just try and pick a similar spot. I'm not worried if it's not completely matched up. Let me get my, I've got antique linen, but I don't think that's going to be strong enough to carry the iced spruce, so I'm just having a little look for my walnut stain. It's most likely going to be the last one I pick up. Sorry about this, there we go. So I had thought of originally putting that up, but let's just knock this great, because as I said, there's a slight green tinge which is slightly going out with the monochrome look, but yeah, I think it kind of works. I'm just going to bring in a little bit of this walnut stain, and it's just going to knock that back to the more sepia tones, but we're still going to have that grey hue which matches the artwork that we've got. And obviously white and black work within any monochrome thing, because that is your ultimate shadow and ultimate highlight, so that works within that. So we've basically just given our walnut stain, we've just made it slightly more grey. We've increased the grey spectrum of it, which I think kind of works. Right, as I said, I'm just going to match that up roughly. I'm not too bothered if it's not precise. It's more of a suggestion on the page anyway. And what I might just do is, let's just catch the edges of some of these, bring that all together just a little bit, especially down here. And then I've no idea what we're doing. But the stenciling is to sort of, is to try and make all the elements that I've put down together play together and look like they belong, going to try and do the same thing with stamping now, and I'm going to use my grey Memento. So I don't know that I particularly want black. And I've pulled out, again, what I've tried to do is pull out stamps that we've used over here. So I've got the open cog and the closed cog. This is in the Clara clog one. So I'm going to try some of the open ones. This is my 2 stamps. So I'll double check my prompts in a minute to see how we're going. Oh, get some of these in, and that is really quite subtle. So I think we have 2 stamps, a monochrome palette, which we've got, and the tea bag, which we've got. So there's the words of a song, which we've still to put in there, but we can do that. So this is just very, very subtle in the background, and I do find sort of stamping over, like especially this bit where we've got all the torn paper together, because the imagery is going across all of those papers, it makes it look more like it's meant to be. Well, it does in my head anyway, so that's what I'm going with. Right, so now I'm going to bring the closed one in, and I'm going to stamp it in grey first, and then I might add a few in black as well. I might pop some in her hair. And then I'm going to have to think about what song. Oh, the Rubons, that's the other thing we've got to do. So yeah, I will pop this together as is. I'm glad I went for the grey. It really works well with the colourways of it. So we've got that. I might knock some of this back with a bit of gesso in a minute actually. I think it's beginning to look a bit busier than I wanted it to. So let's just give that a waft, and then we can knock some of those elements back just with a little bit of gesso. Then I need to go and find some Rubons, see what I've got. I know I've got some of the Jane Davenport journal tattoos. I just don't know if they're in a colourway that's going to work. Sorry, I'm just heating from the back as well, because we're beginning to get a bit of a bend in the page. Okay, so I think I want just a little bit of gesso just to knock some of this. It's beginning to look a little bit busy for my liking, so I'm just going to knock it back a tiny little bit, and hopefully it'll help to frame her as well. If I can do it sort of, I know what I'm going to, like if I can put sort of gesso along here a little bit, and then this way, and then again at the top, I'll almost create a bit of a frame. I'm at the bottom of my gesso pot. I'm having difficulties. Oh, I'm actually scuffing up some of the layers that I've put there, but that's, I quite like it. It's kind of adding to the texture of it a little bit, which I think what is working quite well. And then if I do the same up here, we're almost going to kind of frame our girl by creating, you know, the 2 corners. So it's going to draw the eye in, which is cool. So by doing that as well, even though we've gone a bit busy with some of the stamping and things, we've drawn the eye in a little bit, which I think works fabulously. Okay, so Rubons. So I'm going to be quite limited when it comes to Rubons. I've got these, which is, so there's some Jane Davenport ones, and then I've got this one set, but those are all purples, which aren't going to work. And I've got those 2 there, so I think I'm stuck to these ones. So what I was thinking was, we've got that we've got like a colour swatch just there, which is the right sort of colour palette, the Monochrome colour palette. So I'm thinking I might pop that one in. Because it just, I said it's a swatch. We've got the 3 different shades of brown, and then we've got a shade of grey, so I think it sort of works. It's sort of a nod to that Monochrome reference. I'm just going to pop that down. Probably should get out like a bone folder or something like that, but we're going with the back of the scissors today. So I think that might be, it's going onto an uneven surface, and these are quite old now as well. I know that Jane Davenport calls them journal tattoos because she doesn't like the term rub-on. We're getting there. Yeah, we've got something there. Right, so we've got that. And then, I don't really know, we've got this girl here. Actually, I'm just going to stick with that because I've now filled the prompt and everything else. I saw these and I was just wondering, because we've got these lovely little tags at the end, and I was just wondering whether sorry, I lost the ability to talk. I was just wondering whether having those just almost maybe as little banner, or that one, just maybe the one, a little banner coming down could be quite an interesting detail. I'm just going to cut that because there's a little damaged bit to it. But yeah, I think I quite like that. It's just another little bit of something, isn't it? Right, so pop that there, and then I'm trying to think of a word of a song I like, honestly. Right, there we go. Pop that there. Like that, and then I'm going to get some words and put them coming from the tag. So I'm just going to look through what I've done to get the words of the song. Is I've got one of my books that I use for altering, so I'm going to like just go through and almost like cut out the words of a song that I want. So I'll come back when I've worked out what that song is going to be, and that when I've got all the words ready. Okay, so I realise it's impossibly hard to find individual words. I'm going to end up reading this whole book, so I'm just going to write it out. So I'm going to do from this moment, and that's a Shania Twain song. From this moment, right? Not do any more than that because, you know, copyright and whatnot. But that was the song that my husband and I had for our first dance when we got married. So it seems, I'm trying to think of words for a song. I actually found that prompt the hardest, which it's weird because when I first, long time ago, when I first sort of started joining challenge vlogs, when sort of blogging was the thing, I loved challenges that had inspired by a song or inspired by a film. So I'm surprised that that was the prompt that I struggled with so much. So I'm just edging all of this around with the same walnut stain. And it bothers me that it's my writing because it doesn't feel neat enough, but it is what it is. So I'm thinking that we'll have that coming out of this tag. So I've got from this moment. just going to bring my pen in again just to doodle and just finish this off. I'm just going to take this away so that it sort of clears the desk so that you can see where we're at. Okay, so let's just checking I've got a nib that I want, so I'm just going to create a little bit of a doodly border because quite frankly I just like doodly borders. I think they are ace and I think they help to draw the eye in and marry everything together, and for me it just doesn't look complete unless we have it. So I'm going to put it in. So I'm going to just do that, oops, and we'll get that coming all down here. We're going to cross all those different layers there, but that helps to frame it. So I've got a bit of a mess there, so I'm just going to put an extra few lines, an extra little squiggle, and then what I'm going to do is, I like doing this a lot, you'll probably see me do that. I'm going to add some of these little bits that we've sort of put together. I'm going to almost make them look stitched into the page by creating a little faux cross-stitch doodle. I don't know why I enjoy that so much, but it's something that I enjoy. So if you enjoy it, then do it. I'm going to sort of do the same here, just on this edge of the craft paper that the girl was on, just to again give it that sort of stitched look. So I'm almost doing like a faux running stitch, doing a little, like a little dot and a line, and I'm making it quite loose, and then we've sort of stitched that in there, and I think that's possibly me. I'm trying to decide if I want splatter. Do I want splatter? I don't know. Right, let's cover her face. And we'll cover this bit up here. I've actually got this, what's this, pumice stone, actually along the browns, so might do that first and then a bit of black. I'm going to wish that I'd, this is oxide spray, I'm going to wish that I hadn't put my heat gun away now, aren't I? Okay, and now I'm going to go in with some black splatter. Now, as always, this is a collaboration done with 12 different ladies. All their details will be in the description box below. So for lots of inspiration on how to check out, you know, how to use these prompts, do check that out. And as also, the main thing about this challenge is you all get to join in, which is fabulous. So if you're inspired to give it a go, let us know, tag one of us, and we'll let Kyra know, who, if you do a video, she'll pop you on the playlist for this month. And also if you use the hashtag Take5Art, we can find you on Instagram, etc. And we will share the love, because that's what it's all about. So that is my final page. Let's just double check that we've done all the prompts. I'm pretty sure that I have. Why, when you're trying to do things quickly, does it not want to play ball? Right. So we've added lyrics to a song, we've included the tea bag, we've played with a monochromatic, I've used 2 stamps, and we've got Rubons, so it's all there. So thank you so much. If you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I'll be back with you very, very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.